Breaking news. When the Wagner forces invade Belarus, NATO will be there to protect its members. Despite threats from Moscow or Minsk, the military alliance will defend its members, according to Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg, concerned that the relocation of Russia's Wagner mercenary force to Belarus could create instability for NATO's Eastern European members. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg has stated that the Western military alliance is prepared to defend itself against any threat posed by the move of the private army. Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin was reportedly in Belarus on Tuesday as part of a deal negotiated by Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, which narrowly prevented the mercenaries from marching on Moscow on Saturday after the private army mutinied against Russia's military leaders. After a meeting in The Hague with NATO's Stoltenberg and the heads of government from 6 other NATO allies, Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda warned that if Wagner deployed its serial killers in Belarus, all neighboring countries faced an even bigger danger of instability. On July 11 to 12, NATO will hold a summit with all 31 members in Vilnius, Lithuania. Polish President Andrzej Duda expressed hope that the threat posed by Wagner mercenaries would be discussed at the summit. "We need to take firm action because this is extremely critical and worrying. NATO needs to respond with maximum force," as Duda put it. It is too early to tell what the Wagner presence in Belarus could mean for NATO allies, according to NATO's Stoltenberg, but the military alliance will protect every ally, every inch of NATO territory, from threats from Moscow or Minsk, he added. "We have increased our military presence in the eastern part of the alliance, and at the upcoming summit, we will make decisions to further strengthen our collective defense with additional high-readiness forces and additional capabilities," Stoltenberg said. Since last Saturday, when he waved to well-wishers from a moving vehicle in Rostov-on-Don, a city in southern Russia that his fighters briefly occupied, Prigozhin has not been seen. According to Flight Radar 24 data, a private jet thought to belong to Prigozhin departed from Rostov on Tuesday morning and landed at an airbase southwest of the Belarusian capital of Minsk. The Russian government has been trying to put the Prigozhin mutiny against Moscow behind them, with the FSB intelligence service dropping all criminal charges against Wagner fighters, and Putin's supporters insisting his rule has not been weakened by the revolt. Putin has also tried to bolster his authority by portraying the events of the weekend as a victory for the Russian army and thanking regular Russian troops for preventing a civil war. On Tuesday, Putin addressed Russian troops from the Defense Ministry, National Guard, FSB Security Service, and Interior Ministry who had gathered in a Kremlin courtyard. Putin said, "You proved your loyalty to the people of Russia and the military oath," before observing a minute of silence for the airmen who were shot down and killed by Wagner forces on Saturday. Putin revealed to defense officials for the first time that the Wagner Group, despite being a private mercenary organization, received its funding in its entirety from the Russian federal budget. He also stated that Moscow has compensated the group with 86.262 billion rubles, approximately $1 billion, in wages since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. According to Prigozhin, there are still about 25,000 Wagner fighters in Ukraine. According to Moscow, preparations are being made for them to hand over their heavy weapons to the Russian military.